Hi Flosstube, this is Stephanie, finally sitting down to record my July update, considering it's been a week in August already, but the summer has been a little bit busy, so this is the first chance I have really had to sit down and do this, and it's kind of on a fluke because I ended up coming home from work early today, not feeling very well, having some problems with my back. So I came home early today and I am now happily medicated, waiting for it to kick in from the doctor. So hopefully it will take care of my problem. But I figured since I was home and sitting that I would get my video done. So I have some whip updates to show you today. I have some really fun haul that I'm excited to share with you. First, I must start out with my hellos to Remy and Riley, and TT loves you, and hopefully baby Sawyer is now watching too. We will get him educated on Flosstube as soon as he stays awake longer than 5 minutes. But hi guys, and I will see you next week. I'm going down to spend the day with them, and we're gonna go swimming and do lots of fun things. So I will see you guys next week. So it is now August, and I'm very happy about that because I don't like summer, don't enjoy it at all. It's been very hot here, but more than that, it has been humid here for about the last week and a half, and it's been like, go out and you feel like you're walking through pea soup humid and just unpleasant. So we've been staying indoors with the air conditioner on, and it makes it a little much more tolerable actually. But it has broken now, and it's a little more pleasant. But I just don't enjoy summer, just not my thing. I like winter, rain, cold, and I always say that I like when the kids go back to school and all the TV shows go back into production because the world is normal again. And the majority of the TV shows went back into production today. I follow a lot of them online. So the majority of them went back into production today, and school in Los Angeles actually starts next week, a week from today. So everything's getting back to normal, thank goodness. So anyway, this may not be a very long video. We'll see. I feel like I don't have that much, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so first I will share my whips with you. And, first I just want to say also, thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you so much for your comments. I can't tell you how much it means to me. And it is because of you and your encouragement that I keep doing this, and I love doing it. I love talking about stitching, so I love sharing it, and I just want to thank all of you so much for taking time out of your day to sit down and watch what I have to say, and I'm so grateful for that. And I have my list right here that I made quickly when I got home, and I want to say a special thank you to Janet at Trixie Stitches, who told me in response to my last video when I was asking about the Mirabilia retreats, because I've dove even deeper into the Mirabilia world, which you will see, about the Mirabilia Minions retreat, or Minions Mirabilia, I think it's Mirabilia Minions, the group on Facebook, and their retreat, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna definitely try and go to their retreat next year that Nora goes to, and I'm hoping they're putting together one for October in Las Vegas, which is only like a 4-hour drive from here, and then I can go finally to Stitcher's Paradise there. And I don't know, it doesn't look like Nora's going to be there, but that's okay. Just to sit around with everybody stitching Mirabilias, how cool is that? And I'm going to try and go to that one. I'm just waiting to see if I have something for work. My boss has asked me to just wait a little bit, putting in my time off. So fingers crossed I'm going to be able to go to that one, and I'm already looking forward to it. I think it'll be really cool, and just to see everybody's work, and it'll be wonderful. So hopefully I will get to go to that one. But I just wanted to thank Janet so much for telling me about that group, and I hope I will meet you at a retreat, one of these retreats coming up, so we'll see. So I wanted to get that, and just again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for your comments. You are all so kind, and I'm just really, really grateful for that, and I hope you know how much I appreciate you spending part of your day watching my videos. So thank you so much. Okay, now let's get on to some whips. So as I've said before, I don't do a rotation. I don't ever like feeling like I have to stitch on something, and so I just stitch what I feel like stitching. And sometimes for 2 or 3 weeks I'll work on the same thing, which is kind of what's happened this last month. I'm just working on a few pieces that I'm just really excited about, and so I just work on them, and so at least I'm making progress on something. But I just work on what I feel like. So I have just 3 whips actually that I have been working on this month. So I will share those with you. So the first is I'm going to move this thing and hope it doesn't fall. The linen and threads stitch along, and I am extremely behind, but that's okay because I'm a slow stitcher anyway, so I'm just used to being behind. But just kind of on a fluke one day, it was sitting next to me, and I thought, I've worked on this for a little while, and I've seen everyone's pieces online they're so beautiful, and so I pulled mine out, and I've been working on it a little bit. So this is my linen and things project. You can see how far behind I am, and I am stitching this on Congress cloth, which I have used for counted needlepoint only, but I wanted to try it and see if it would work for this, and it's working great. It's 24 count, so I do sometimes have to use a magnifier for this because you can see maybe that the fabric also has a sparkle in it, and so I have found that I need to use the magnifier sometimes just because it's a little hard to see with the sparkle. But gosh, in there it looks crooked on there. But I'm still on January, and I'll be on January for a long time. So I just work on this one bit by bit. I'm choosing just kind of colors. I'm doing it in, well, you can see the blue here, the shades of blue. Okay, sorry about that little glitch. I record my videos on my phone, and my phone just rang, and apparently when the phone rings, it stops the video. So I just learned that. I thought I could just stop the call, but no. Anyway, so sorry for that little glitch. So we'll get back to this for a second, very quickly. So as I was saying, like, I'm doing this in blues, and I don't normally stitch in blue. So, but I saw this. I bought this thread from somebody, or she gave it to me actually, and I thought this might be a really good use for it. So I have some solid blue, I have some browns, some pinks that I'm going to add to it, but I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go, and so we'll see how it comes out. I don't work on it a lot. It sits next to me all the time, staring at me, but I'm you know, this is still January, and I think January, if I remember right, the design has like a couple of rows, so this one will be a while. But I did work on it a little bit, and I do think it's pretty, so it's coming along. It'll get done eventually, I think. And I do really like, so I'm cross-stitching it, and I do really like cross-stitching on the Congress cloth. I think it's working really nice. Congress cloth is really pleasant to stitch on, I find. And I put it in the scroll bars too. I gave that a whirl, and it seems to be working well. This is also the first time I've used scroll bars, and I like them. I have a couple sets, so, well, you'll see another thing I've been working on that's, it's also on scroll bars, and I had to do a little improvisation, but but I will show you that. So that's my linen and threads salve that I'm kind of working on, I guess I should say. The other 2 that I have been working on are the ones I work primarily on right now, and I just am really enjoying them, so I'm gonna go with it. So this one, it gets worked on because I take it to work with me and work on it on my lunch hour and stuff. So It's getting a little bit more attention, but this is fun. This is fun. So this is the Stitch Rovia charity sale, and you can see just barely started. I finally last week finished the outside border. It still has 2 more borders to go, and I'm choosing my own colors, and it's fun. I'm really enjoying this. It's a little bit like coloring, you know, just figuring out what worked. Down here I started the next border, but I didn't like the threads. It was too much. I was using, trying to put a little sparkle in it because I love sparkle. And I was using silk lame thread, and I had just bought it. And I thought I was buying the petite silk lame, but I wasn't. It was the regular. And it's too thick, too much thread. This is 18 count fabric from Fiberlicious. I don't remember the color. It's kind of a mint greenish color. But for the 18 count, the regular silk lame is too much thread. So I'm pulling it out. I found some other ones I'm going to try, but this is a great learning experience, just choosing the colors and what works together. And it's so fun to find a color that I think will work, and then once you put it in and you see it goes together nicely, and it's a lot of fun. I haven't had to pull out a lot on this color wise. So far it's working, but I haven't got into the whole I think there's only 1 more month left to come out, so I haven't got into the center part yet, but I have a box of threads that I chose specifically for this, so I kind of pick and choose through there a little bit. This border, I don't know if you can see it, I used on there, that's that sulky thread, again, that Stitcherista talked about, and I love stitching with that thread. I really, really love it. And I only use 1 strand. On the 18 count, I'm only using 1 strand, and it works great. The coverage is just fine, and it will last a long time because I'm only using 1 strand. So, but in fact, for this other border, I'm using another of the sulky threads. I bought like 6 or 7 of the sets now. I watch them on Amazon because Amazon puts them on sale a lot, and so I have just about all of them now, because like some of them I've gotten like for $5 or $6. So but I really like stitching with it, so I have a feeling I'll be using it a lot in this. But again, this one, I'm doing a bunch of sales and I'm behind on all of them, and I don't even care. So they'll get done as they get done. So but they're pretty. They're all so cute. I just couldn't resist. So that's my Stitch Rovia charity sale that is coming along, and it's a good portable one that I carry with me. So, and then the other one that I've been working on that I just love is I have been working more on my Mirabilia. Oh, there's my light. Christmas in London, and I just love this piece. I cannot get enough of it, and I left it in the Q-snaps because I have it positioned right where I want it right now, so I don't want to move it, because I was really working on it this weekend. But since I showed you the last time, I finished the center part of the garland here, and more of her dress. Look at that dress. And this pink that's going in is actually part of the dress too. It comes down like this. Where these are left unstitched, those are all beads, and I'm saving the beading to the very end. So those will sit empty and Meredith and Derek are still watching nicely over the project. They're doing a great job. And but I just love this, and I can't believe how it's coming out. And I kind of am experiencing with this like I did when I started doing a Heaven and Earth. When you see it and you just go, there's no way it can come out like that, and then you stitch it and you go, well, it sure does. And I'm trying, this is I think this is 16 count 8 that I'm stitching it on, and I had read about, and I still read about, a lot of people who when they're doing the Mirabilias and they're doing it 2/2, and then when they get to the skin they do it 1/1, and I can't really do that on the this Ada. I'm stitching with 3 strands of thread, and so what I tried to do, you can see here I put in a little bit of her arm because I just wanted to try it out and see. I just bumped it, I took it down, I took out one thread, so I'm doing it in with 2 threads just to maybe lighten it just a little bit, and I like it. It came out nicely, so I think I'll stick with it. I'll see once it comes to her face. I don't know, because I love when people go down to the 1/1 and they do it, and I think it really comes out looking like an oil painting almost. So I'll see once I get to her face. But I did, because her arm and her other arm comes down right here. So I tried it out and I really like it. I think it came out nice. It gave it a little bit lighter look, so a more delicate, I guess is what it is. And so I'm going to work on this one more today, actually, because I couldn't sleep last night, and I got up in the middle of the night and I sat here and stitched on it for 3 hours because I just couldn't even stop thinking about it. So she is coming along like a beauty. So I've been working on this one a lot, and I think I will continue to do so. Although when you see my haul, it might change, who knows. So, but there she is, Christmas in London. She's coming along. I realized, I was thinking about this last night, that how long have I been working on this? And I started right here when I started. This is like the center of the fabric. And I started on election night. I started it while I was watching the election night coverage. So now I know. Now I can pinpoint when I started it, so now I can follow it. So it'll be fun to see in 3 or 4 more months, however long it is, how much I was able to get done in a year. So we'll see. I was thinking last night I'd like to get this done for one of the local needlepoint guilds. Does a show here, like a, what do they call it? It's called Stitch Your Showcase, and you can enter your work and it gets judged and you can win. This ribbon right here, right there, that blue one, was from when I entered my kimono in there, and it's the end of April next year, and I would love to have this done in time to enter it into that, but I'll have to see, because like I said, I'm a slow stitcher and I have a lot of projects, and we'll see if it is. If not, I'll enter it in the one after that. So we'll see. But there she is, and I just love her. I just love her. So she's coming along, and I get to look at Derek. Hello. So there she is. That's the WIP that's been getting my attention, mostly, as it should, I guess. So I do also have 2 new starts, which is funny because I'm back to feeling really guilty about all the WIPs I have, and they're all just sitting there. They're all in bins. I reorganized all my stitching stuff about 2 weeks ago, and they're all lined up in bins, and I'm feeling very guilty. And so I'm trying not to start anything new, but when you see my haul, you'll see that's not going to last. But I'm feeling guilty, so I'm trying to be a little more in control. But I have 2 new starts. So the first is, because I could not resist. So this is from Clouds Factory. They just put this out. So I used to watch, when it was on, I watched the TV show Lost. And I didn't watch it when it first came on, so I like binge watched the first couple of seasons, and that's a hard show to binge watch. I was having weird dreams, but I liked it. So they just put this out. Let's see how close I can get. That it's, you know, kind of with all the people and the island and all the Dharma stuff, and I could not resist it. So I got that one, and I went away in the 1st of July with my friend. We went to Palm Springs for a couple of days, and it was the sun. It was 118 degrees during the day, so we'd lay out by the pool and stuff as long as we could stand it, and then we'd go in our room and watch movies and stuff, because it was so hot you couldn't even walk on the ground. But ironically enough, so here's a little story, that we walked in the morning. We actually exercised. We'd get up and exercise at like 6 o'clock in the morning before it got too hot outside. We'd go walk around the resort where we were staying, and they're not, well, they are hotel rooms, but they're like little haciendas or casitas, almost like little houses. and we walked past one, and that was kind of in the middle of the property, in the older section of the property. This place apparently has been around for a really long time. And there was one of the haciendas that had a rock outside with a plaque on the front, and as we were walking by, it said on the plaque that this was the hacienda where, I'm drawing a blank, the guy who wrote It's a Wonderful Life and all of those movies. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Frank something, where he sat and he wrote all of his movies, and he would write them there because he wrote It's a Wonderful Life there, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and Mr. Deeds, and all. Frank Capra, there it is. And he became superstitious and believed that if he didn't write them there, that the movies would not be successful. And so it was funny to stand in the middle of the desert outside this hacienda, knowing that he wrote It's a Wonderful Life there, this movie that takes place in the winter and snow and everything. So it was cool though. But anyway, and my friend, we sit and watch movies. She loves to wind the floss onto the little the cards. And so I brought all my pile of floss, and she'd sit and wind all the floss for me. So it was great, because I don't enjoy doing that. But I started my Lost project while I was there, because she wound all the floss for me. And it's I found, like, I was lucky in my stash. I had a blue that I really liked that I thought would work. And I think this is a hand dyed by Stephanie piece that I ordered from somebody. It's so soft. I love it. And so it just started the island and some clouds. So, oh, no, that's the plane, because there's the tail of the plane breaking off right there. Remember when it fell and the others lived over here? And so it's just a fun piece. I really like it. It'll be, I'm not sure where I'll hang it or what I'll do with it, but it's cute, and it's, you know, I might actually pull out my DVDs and watch them while I'm stitching it. I don't know. I just barely started it. So, but there's one of my starts right there, my Lost Island. And I enjoy these Clouds Factory projects. They're a lot of fun. I'm doing the Fabulous One in Sal. It's sat in my bag for a while, so it hasn't gotten much love, the poor thing. But I like their projects. I think that they're really cute. And then the other new start I had, because I just went crazy when I saw it, let's move that over there, was another Heaven and Earth. I don't know how many Heaven and Earths I need to start. I have so many going, and they're going to take forever, but I couldn't resist. So this is this is the mini pattern, so it's not going to be one of the giant ones. And it's Holiday Treasures by Susan Rios, and you will see why I chose this. So there's the picture right there. And I chose this one and just had to start it because it made me think of my nieces and my nephew, because that's like my older niece, my younger niece, my nephew, and that's, well, my nephew's just a baby, but my nieces from behind, that's what they look like. And it just made me think of them, and I was giddy when I saw it. And I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. And I love this one. If you see in the windows, like all the Christmas decorations. And so this one I just had to start because it made me think of them. And this is my other scroll frame project. So I don't have a whole lot done. That's just the beginning. A lot of white on white up here. I'm stitching it on I think it's called Magic Guide that I bought from Heaven and Earth. And I put this one on scroll frames, but I was finding that the sides weren't tight enough. Even if I pulled them a little bit more, it just wasn't. I like it tight, drum tight when I stitch, or as close as I can possibly get. So I just pulled out some floss and stitched it on there to pull it, and it's still not quite as tight as I would like it, but it works. It did the trick. It firmed it up a little bit more for me. I'm parking. I didn't, when I first started Heaven and Earth, I did not park my threads, but then one of their challenges that they did last year was parking, and I watched the video. I think it was Carolyn Mazzio's video about parking, and I like it. I like it better than I used to do cross country, where I would do a whole page and do all the symbols in one page, and then another symbol and another symbol, but I missed symbols. And so I started parking, and I like it, and I think it's a little bit faster too. At least it is for me. And I do about 2. These are 10. These squares each have 10 rows, so I'm doing about 2 rows at a time right now on this one. And I do like the parking. I think it goes a little bit better. This one will be a long time project too, but it makes me happy when I work on it because it makes me think of them. And Mary Poppins she's guarding my needle for me, which is stuck somewhere in my piece right now. But this one, I need to keep this one covered up better, I think, just because it has so much white in it. But and this is 18 count magic guide too, so it'll come out to be, I think it's about 18 by 20, something like that. So and I like that it's already bringing in some of the background. So that was my other start, and I think that's what made me feel guilty, because I want to work on it all. I always say, like, I wish I was an octopus and I could work on 8 different projects at the same time, and I can't. And I work, so my stitching time is very limited. I get most of my stitching done on the weekends, so whether I'm home or getting together with my stitching group, which is my favorite thing to do. I love just sitting with everybody and stitching all day. So, and I get a lot of stitching done. Those are very productive days. Okay, now I'm very excited to share with you my haul. And you may have, or some of you may have seen this stuff online. And I cannot express how great it is in person, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So there is a group on Facebook called, I think it's called Buy and Sell Cross Stitch, Stitchery Express, and it's XPRESS, and it is run by a woman named Cindy Sorley, and she has a couple people who help her, Tina and April, but she does these specialty fabrics that the first time I saw it, I just went crazy, and I ordered it. And then I waited until I got the first piece to see if it really was what I thought it would be, if it came out like it was looking like I was seeing online. And it was better. And so she does regular dyed fabrics too, but she has themed fabrics that have different backgrounds on them. And this is the first one that I ordered. And she has this one with a couple different backgrounds. They're not cheap, but they're not hideously expensive either, I don't think. And it's huge. I didn't know this one was so huge, but it's okay. I don't know how much of it you'll be able to see because it's so big. But, so, it's a palace. It's the entrance to a palace. And she has it with, so this is the gold walls, and she has it with green walls, pink, and I think blue, but I'm not entirely sure. You can see the piece is gigantic, but stitching over 2, it's a good size. And framing it, I'll probably, cut part of this off. This doesn't all need to be in there. But what she puts on there, because you kind of look and go, well, what am I supposed to stitch on there? So she'll put different pictures up to give you an idea of what to stitch. And this is where my new world of Mirabilia has come in, because that's usually what she puts on there as an example. And I'm going crazy. I've already started kitting these up, so that's why I say my guilt about my whips may go away, because I can't resist these. So for this one, for the palace, again, looks like this. I bought Lady Alexandra, and she's gonna go on there. So I'm waiting to see, you can kind of, and you can ask her to post pictures of something on there, and she will do it so you can see what it looks like to give you an idea. And so the only thing that concerned me is I didn't realize I had ordered the gold the gold wall, and I'm not sure if because her dress is gold, if it's going to get lost in there. And so I'm waiting for, they should be here today, the last of the threads I need for this. Then I'm going to lay out on it, and then I'll see if it fades into the background too much. If it does, I think I'll order like the green background or something like that, so that, because I think she's perfect for it. And the other thing she does is she does her fabrics in plain or opalescent with the sparkle on them. This one is the opalescent. I don't know if the sparkle will come out. Oh, it does a little bit. I also have it without the sparkle, but I think I like it with, for this one, I like it with the sparkle. She's going to sit right about there. So I've kind of measured her out to see where she'll fit. Some people are talking about, because a lot of people are asking about, well, how do you know where to put her? And so what people are doing is they seem to be cutting a template of only the design size and placing that on there so you can see with the picture. And the way I think I figured it out, and she sits right about on this line right here, because I don't want her to block this whole entire mirror. Well, I guess it's a mirror. And the chandelier, she'll come in right about here. And this is, I think this is 28 count, if it says. Oh no, I think it's 18. So she's going to come out pretty good sized. And I mean, they make these fabrics, and they're just really beautiful. And from what I hear, people aren't having problems putting them in Q-snaps, like having the color come off or something. I think I'll probably put a piece of flannel over, over where the Q-snap's going to go on top of the cover, just to be safe. But she does a live video every Sunday on Facebook where she introduces new products and new fabrics and stuff. And last week someone was talking about that, and you can ask her questions and stuff while they're filming the video, and if there was a problem, and she said they haven't seen a problem. So but I think I'll do it just to be safe. And then because I also stitch slow, so my Q-snaps stay on there for a long time. And so after I got that and saw that it is what I thought it was, then I went crazy. So then the next one I ordered was, oh, this is cool. This fabric is called Under the Sea. So it's a sea motif. This one's also the opalescent with the glitter on it. And then and you can see like where the water is. So I ordered this one, and a lot of the patterns you can order from her too. She'll have them, but I ordered these from 1-2-3 Stitch. So, but I chose that one. She's gonna go on there, and so she'll look like she's putting something down in here. And I measured her out too, and her tail will come up about here, and she'll come down here. And she's so sparkly. I think the colors are gonna be great. This one I'm also waiting for some. I've started kitting them up, but I had to order a few threads, so I'm waiting. Hopefully the package is gonna be here today. And it said it got shipped like over a week ago, so hopefully. And so I'm finally diving into the Mirabilia Mermaid World, which I didn't think I would ever do, but then I saw this. And then she did this one. This is not the opalescent. This is the plain, so it has no sparkle. Look at that for Halloween. And this was one I wasn't sure after she posted the picture, how was it going to come out? And I couldn't believe how great the colors were, how clear it was. And so for this one, I have chosen this beauty, Gigi, and she's going to go right in the center there. Kind of, there's a tree right here. Oh, there's a big tree right here. So I'm going to have her sit right here. She'll probably block the pumpkins a little bit, but that's all right. I don't mind that. And then this is another one that I'm waiting for all the threads to get here to see if I need to change the color of her dress. I don't know if she's going to fade into the black too much, but I'll wait until all the threads get here and I can lay them out. But, and then I probably won't put, she has a black cat right there. I probably won't put the cat in there because the cat would be sitting funny on the tree, like the tree roots. And so I probably won't put the cat in there. But I was thrilled with this one when it came. And so that's Gigi right there. And then last, I just got this one last week, is this one, which is a full moon. And I ordered, and so this is an example of, I ordered the pattern from her, because, and she also was offering it with the beads, so I just did the whole thing from her. And her service is great, really, you know, fast. I think it's fast. I mean, she gets behind sometimes because, you know, people are buying these fabrics now, but I love her service. I love dealing with them. And she's in Utah. She's based in Utah, and she does a great job. My picture just came out of this, so, but that's okay. So on the moon fabric, I decided to do this witch. Her name is Eva. Eva. And so she'll sit right in here across the moon. And you could put anything on it. It doesn't have to be Mirabilias. I just happen to be going crazy with the Mirabilia patterns. I just think they're so beautiful. So I ordered the pattern from directly from them and the beads. So, and I mean, the prices were really good. So I will do more of that from her. I have some other stuff that she's just invoiced me. A really cute Mary Poppins pattern. Another fabric that they just dyed that looks like panels of old wood. And I have another Mirabilia I think I'm going to put on that. So, and she has all different sizes, all different counts, all different fabric sizes. And check out her page. She's on Facebook. Buy and sell cross stitch, because people also sell stuff on there, their own stuff. You're allowed to sell your own stuff on there. But and check out her stuff. Look in the albums, look through the fabric. Oh, because the other one I have coming is she has fabric that has like the Pledge of Allegiance or the start of the Constitution, patriotic fabrics. And I have that one I've just ordered from her, and I have a Mirabilia pattern coming. It's not the real expensive one that everyone's, the out of print one. It's, I forget what her name is, but it's in this package that's supposed to be here today. So I have the and I did the Constitution fabric on that, and it's just the words of the Constitution across it. And then I'll stitch the lady on there. So I'll show you that one on my next video, because everything should be here by then. But check out her Facebook page, because she has some really great stuff. She's got a mystery stitch along coming up. I'm not going to do that one, but and she runs a really great business. I love dealing with her. I really can't say enough good things about her. But look, her fabric this is the tip of the iceberg of what she has. So check it out. It's really a lot of fun. And then, because I just am neck deep in Mirabilia happily, and I've been watching the Flosstube videos of I think she says her name Johnny, Y-A-N-Y, in Mexico. I've been watching her Flosstube videos, and she does a lot of Mirabilias, and her work is so beautiful that I would watch her video, and then I'd find myself online shopping for Mirabilia patterns. And so I got two more. I got this one. Oh, this is Autumn Queen. And I thought she was pretty. So, and I've seen the Winter Queen. I haven't gotten that one yet, but I just got this one. And then I've always loved this pattern, the Rose of Sharon. And I think once it comes, I think this is what I'm going to stitch on the fabric that has the wood plank background. I'll see once it gets here how she looks, but I think it might be pretty on the back of there. So I can't stitch these Mirabilias fast enough. just love them. They're some of my most favorite things to stitch. So, and I love dresses and gowns and ruffles and glitter and beads and all that stuff. So they definitely pique every bit of my senses. So so that's my haul. That's my whips. That's my haul. My new starts. We'll do a little binge watching books update. I'm going to do the books first because I have been reading some great books lately. I found, my friend told me about these books by Frederick Backman, B-A-C-K-M-A-N. Or no, yeah, B-A-C-K-M-A-N. And I wish I had more of them to show you because, well, first I've been checking them out at the library. I've been trying to get more books from the library to support the local libraries, and it also saves a lot of money. And I loved them so much that on Amazon Prime Day, they put his set of books on sale, so I bought them. But now my sister has them. So she's reading them. But he has books called, there is A Man Called Ove, and My Grandmother Says to Tell You She's Sorry is another one. And then I'm reading this one right now that I got from the library called Britt Marie Was Here. And this is my favorite of all of them so far. I loved them, especially A Man Called Ove, but they're very just good, well-written stories. Sad, funny. Sometimes you laugh out loud. Other times you want to cry. But these are just, they're really, I can't recommend these enough. And then he has one more called Beartown, which I think is his newest one. And I have it on hold at the library, so I'm on the waiting list for it. So, but he's great. They all take place in Sweden. He's Swedish, and he's, so they all take place in Sweden, which is kind of fun. And then the other one I read, and this book is crazy. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away, although until the very last page, I had no idea how it was going to end, called Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. And I heard about it because Stephen King, and if you don't like Stephen King books, it's okay. It's not like that. But he is a avid reader, and he recommended it, and so I thought, you know, and I just think he's a brilliant writer. And so my friend read it, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to get to that. And she's like, you need to read it so we can talk about it. And then I read it, and I was finishing it. I was at a doctor's appointment with my boyfriend, and I was in the waiting room waiting for him, and I finished it. And I literally, when I got to the last page in the waiting room, I was like, the lady sitting across from me was wondering what was going on because I couldn't believe the way it ended. So if you want something just suspense, great. I don't want to say anything to give it away. Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. Check it out because it is crazy. I'm still in shock about it, truthfully. So that's what I've been reading, and I did just see today that Tom Hanks has a book coming out in October, a book of fiction short stories that he wrote as he was traveling around filming movies and stuff. So I just pre-ordered it from Amazon. We'll see. I didn't know he wrote. It'd be kind of cool. And then binge watching, I have been weirdly obsessed with watching Friends lately. And I don't know why. I haven't watched Friends in a couple years. I loved the show when it was on and watched it then, but I cannot get enough of it right now. And it's nice because I can sit and stitch and do other stuff, and I don't really pay too much attention. I can just listen, and I know what's going on, but I can't get enough of it. I think, you know, just because of kind of the way the world is right now, like, I just feel like I need laughing, fun, joyful things, and so I've been watching that because it's happy. And I feel like there's a line from Friends that goes with any situation in life. So I've been watching a lot of that. It's on Netflix. I have the DVDs, but I've been watching it on Netflix. And I'm in the process of binge watching Will and Grace because the reboot is coming at the end of September, and they've just ordered a second season. And so, my back feels so much better. My pill's kicking in. And so I'm trying to binge watch the entire series. before the reboot starts, and I'll make it. I'm on the third season. I'm almost done with the third season right now. That was a great show. Just funny. Again, I need more happy things, and so I've been watching a lot of that. And but until I started watching this new docuseries on Netflix. It's not new. I'm a little late to the party, I think, but called The Keepers. And I think it's done by the same people who did the Making of a Murderer documentary series, which is also very interesting. This one is fascinating, disturbingly fascinating. I'd never heard of this story before, and it's getting, the more I'm about halfway through it, the more you go, the more intertwined it's getting. And again, just corruption, and you almost can't believe the stuff goes on in the world, but it does. And I don't know where it's going, because I know nothing about the story. Nothing. It's about a nun who was murdered in 1969 in Baltimore, and it's still and another girl who disappeared a few days later, and they also found, and she had also been murdered, and it's been unsolved this whole time. And there's two ladies who are the nun was a teacher, an English teacher at a Catholic school for girls, and she was their teacher, and they really loved her, and she made an impression on them, and these ladies are determined to figure this out. So I will be watching more of that, but I have to watch it and then watch something happy afterwards, because it's not a happy story, and it's very tragic, and but it's it's fascinating. And I think a lot about, if they had a lot of the technology they had today back then, what would things have been different? I don't know. Maybe I'll find out the more I watch it. But so I've been watching that too. Very interesting. And then I'm going to, after I'm done with that, I really want to watch The Last Tycoon. That's on Amazon, and with Kelsey Grammer is in it, and Lily Collins, and about old-time film industry, which I love. I love Hollywood and that kind of stuff, so I like movies like that, so I will, I'm going to watch that one next. I think that's next on my list, so I'll let you know how it is. So that's it, and that's all my updates. I have some fun things coming up that I'm really looking forward to. I have a needlepoint class later this month, that it's a 2-day kind of troubleshooting class where you take whatever canvases you have, and the teacher will help you choose stitches and threads and stuff for it. And I know the teacher, her name is Laura Taylor, and she teaches at Aristea in Santa Monica, and she's a joy. She puts together the retreat over Memorial Day that we go to, and so I'm taking the class with a couple of my friends. So we'll have just 2 days of stitching and maybe some, I don't have a lot of painted canvases, but I have a few. I have a handful, and so I need to go through and choose which ones I'm going to take. And that's a 2-day class at the end of the month. And then next month, at the end of the month, we have a local group of stitchers here that are just people who live in Southern California. And this is the second year of our annual retreat, and we do it at I just realized it's at a convent in Temecula where retired nuns live, and after watching this documentary I might be a little bit freaked out, but it's the most beautiful, peaceful, wonderful place. And we stitch for 3 days, and you bring whatever projects you want, and you stitch as long as you want, stay up all night and stitch if you want, and delicious food that they make there, and it's wonderful people. And so we're doing that at the end of September, and I can't wait. I went last year, and I remember about a month after it being over, still just feeling how great it was and how energizing it was, and seeing every type of stitching. I mean, any kind you can imagine. People needlepoint, they cross stitch, you can bring crochet if you want. One woman brought samples of, she makes lace, and she brought it to show us, and it was gorgeous. And so it's really fun, and it's just inspiring to just be around people and stitching. And I met some wonderful people there that we're still friendly. It would be like a reunion this year. So I have that, and then I have another retreat that I just signed up for. It's in January. It's a great retreat that they do around here too. I love the retreats when you can just kind of sit and stitch and just be surrounded by other people stitching and talk and have fun. And so I have that one coming up. That's not till January, and then we'll see if I can go to this Mirabilia retreat in October. I hope I'll be able to go. I'm gonna try and push it a little bit more and see in the coming weeks if I can register, because they have to have a certain number of registrants or it's not going to happen. So I want to get counted in there if they need people. So we'll see. But anyway, now I'm just rambling. So thank you again for watching, and I will do another update probably at the end of this month. And please leave any questions or comments, and I welcome them, and I'm so grateful for all of you for watching. So happy stitching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.